A Hermes Birkin can cost $25,000 to $60,000. A Chanel classic flap, close to $10,000. Gucci sunglasses, haute couture dresses, a Barbie-themed birthday party that quietly runs into tens of thousands more. Between 2011 and 2018, this was the visible world around Emma Coronel. While images of maximum security prisons and federal courtrooms dominated the headlines, her public life showed something very different. Designer bags, carefully styled appearances, and a routine that suggested money was steady, predictable, and close at hand. Nothing flashy, nothing rushed, just comfort repeated.
That contrast is where the story actually begins.
Emma Coronel wasn't running a cartel. Prosecutors say the organization around her moved over $12 billion. Her world was smaller, personal, visible, and investigators estimate her lifestyle spending may have reached into the low millions. Not hidden vaults, not offshore empires, but luxury that left patterns. Shopping trips, timelines, receipts, quietly noted by people whose job was to track financial patterns. If you're interested in how power really looks when it isn't wearing a uniform or holding a weapon, this is the kind of story we tell here, so consider subscribing to stay with us. This isn't a love story, it isn't gossip. It's about how that lifestyle worked, where it came from, how it was sustained, and why it eventually stopped being background detail and became part of the record. Because in the underworld, wealth doesn't just buy comfort. Every luxury comes with a bill. Emma Coronel Ispuro was born on July 2, 1989, in San Francisco. But her life was never limited to one country or one social reality. She grew up moving between the United States and parts of Sinaloa and Durango, regions where wealth, protection, and influence often existed side by side. This context matters, because it explains something fundamental. When luxury appeared around Emma, it didn't feel sudden. It felt familiar. Her father, Inez Coronel Barreras, was identified by U.S. authorities as a collaborator within the Sinaloa cartel structure. Her uncle, Ignacio Nacho Coronel Villarreal, became one of the organization's most powerful regional figures before his death during a 2010 security operation. Long before Emma reached adulthood, expensive cars, guarded properties, and large sums of money were already part of her environment. For her, wealth was not aspirational. It was normal. That background shaped what came next. Emma met Joaquin Guzman around 2006 or 2007. She was 17 years old. He was nearing 50, already a global symbol of narco culture, known far beyond Mexico. When they married shortly after Emma turned 18, the wedding was described as lavish and tightly controlled, attended by people with influence and protection. The marriage did not create wealth. It formalized proximity to it. From that point on, Emma's public life followed a pattern that would later become central to her legal troubles. Between roughly 2011 and 2018, her lifestyle was not chaotic or excessive in bursts. It was consistent, and consistency is expensive. Analysts tracking her public appearances estimated Emma owned between 15 and 25 luxury handbags. Hermes Birkin and Kelly bags, often priced between $25,000 and $60,000, appeared repeatedly. Chanel classic flaps, valued near $8,000 to $10,000, rotated through her wardrobe. Taken together, conservative estimates place the value of her handbag collection between $300,000 and $700,000. Her clothing followed the same rhythm. Outfits rarely repeated in close succession. Individual looks were estimated between $2,000 and $10,000, paired with accessories that suggested planning, not impulse. Watches identified by observers as Rolex or Cartier models were valued between $15,000 and $40,000. Nothing looked improvised. Nothing looked accidental. If you add it up over time, the picture becomes clearer. This wasn't a moment of excess. It was a million-dollar lifestyle sustained year after year. From 2014 to 2018, U.S. authorities began tracking Emma more closely during her trips to the United States. According to former law enforcement accounts, a pattern stood out. After meetings framed around legal or humanitarian issues, Emma was observed traveling directly to high-end shopping districts. Individual shopping trips were estimated at $20,000 to $50,000. Over several years, investigators believed her personal lifestyle spending, separate from any cartel assets, likely exceeded $500,000, with some estimates reaching over $1 million. This is where luxury stopped being background detail and started becoming evidence. Receipts, timelines, habits. None of it illegal on its own, but taken together, it told a story. Money was still flowing, steadily and predictably, even as pressure on the organization increased. Emma's lifestyle also emphasized normalcy. She attended Major League Baseball games in VIP seating, where tickets can cost $1,000 to $5,000 per event. She maintained private fitness routines, with personal training estimated at $5,000 to $10,000 per month. She appeared at shooting ranges with hunting firearms, typically valued between $2,000 and $6,000. These moments were framed as leisure, calm, ordinary. The firearms were framed as sporting equipment, not instruments of violence. That framing worked for years, until it didn't. In July 2015, El Chapo escaped from Altiplano, Mexico's highest security prison. The escape involved a tunnel stretching approximately 1.5 kilometers, equipped with lighting, ventilation, and rail systems. Conservative estimates placed the cost between $2 and $5 million. According to prosecutors, and later confirmed through admissions, Emma Coronel played a role in facilitating communication and logistics. She helped relay messages and provided a GPS-enabled watch, allowing precise positioning during the operation. This was the turning point. From this moment on, Emma was no longer just adjacent to power. She was directly linked to an event that could not be explained away as lifestyle or coincidence. By the time El Chapo stood trial in New York in 2018, Emma's visibility had become part of the narrative. She attended most court sessions, dressed with the same precision seen for years. Tailored outfits, designer sunglasses, composed posture. Luxury at this stage functioned as image management, calm in a room designed to strip it away. On February 22, 2021, Emma Coronel was arrested in the United States. In November 2021, she pleaded guilty to conspiracy-related charges. It's important to be precise here. Emma was not convicted of running the cartel. She was convicted because she knew the scale of the operation, actively assisted, and helped enable and conceal activities tied to it. That distinction explains the sentence and the controversy around it. Her punishment included 3 years in federal prison, the forfeiture of approximately $1.5 million, and 4 years of supervised release. She was released in September 2023. For some, the sentence felt light. For others, it marked the moment the million-dollar lifestyle finally came due. After prison, Emma did not disappear. The lifestyle changed, but it did not vanish. Public appearances became rare and carefully controlled. Clothing remained high-end but quieter. Interviews were selective. Luxury adapted. It shrank. It learned to lower its voice. And that may be the most revealing detail of all, because this story was never just about excess. It was about proximity, about how living close to power can feel safe until it isn't. In the end, the million-dollar lifestyle was real. So was the cost. When people talk about Emma Coronel now, it usually gets flattened into a few words: luxury, loyalty, prison, release. But that version misses how ordinary it all felt while it was happening. Nothing arrived at once. The money didn't fall from the sky. It came in layers, year after year. quiet enough that it started to feel permanent. And that's the part that matters. Emma Coronel was never the one running an empire. She didn't give orders or move an organization. But she knew the world she was living in. She knew what paid for the lifestyle. She knew what that money could protect her from. And for a long time it worked. Until it didn't. Eventually, the same routines that once blended into the background stopped looking normal. Patterns became impossible to ignore. And a life that felt insulated was suddenly measured, documented, and judged. This story doesn't really end with prison or with release. It ends with something quieter than that. At what point does being close to power turn into being part of it? And how long can someone benefit from a system before responsibility catches up? That's the kind of question we try to sit with here. If these are the stories you want to keep exploring, you're welcome to stay with us.